Johnny, thanks very much for joining us today. For those who don't know about Moda Living, just tell us a little bit more about the business and the sector.
Moda Living is a build-to-rent developer operator of four-star, five-star product in regional centres across the UK. We were established nearly 8 years ago now, and we've got 5 projects on site. So we've got a project in Manchester, Angel Gardens, which started operating back end of last year, and the project completes in 2 weeks' time. We've got another scheme on site in Liverpool, another scheme on site in Leeds, Birmingham and Edinburgh. So total GDV of about 850 million on site. On top of that, we have a number of additional sites across the UK, totaling about 1.75 billion GDV, and looking to expand further.
I'm glad to see that you're back in your office, Johnny. But just tell me a little bit more in terms of the influence of the health crisis. I suppose how have you seen that influencing your sector, and are there kind of strategies that you've had to employ?
There's different factors. So I suppose from an operational perspective, it's been somewhat of a challenge with our amenity spaces, which we've had to close. So we've taken a much more proactive approach to how we can keep people engaging, whether it be through technology, through our app, or whether it be through events that we bring to people's homes. So we've managed to kind of find ways to cheer people up and engage. So we have health and wellbeing as one of our main lines that goes through our business in our partnership with Hero. So we've been doing online exercise classes, we've been doing wellbeing sessions, whether it be on positivity, which our engagement has gone really up through the roof through our app, about people engaging with these different activities as they've got more time on their hands. We've also done cocktail making, we've done pizza making, bread making, and just different ways, especially when lockdown was at its tightest. So that's been from a management perspective, an operations perspective. On a construction side, we've been managing our sites that are on site, working very closely with our contractors, trying to minimise disruption, which we've done successfully to date. And we've had great cooperation across the board there from our supply chain. And then on to the funding side as well. I mean, we're looking in the marketplace. I think there was people looking at where things are now. I think people are seeing the resilience of built to rent in terms of rent collection, as opposed to some of the other sectors which have been hit because of trends. I think people are now seeing build to rent, and we certainly believe that this is its time to shine.
And that's interesting from an investment perspective. Obviously, there are also some trends that kind of are expected to continue beyond the crisis in a way. What's your sense of that? Do you feel that that's been, has accelerated the trends or created new trends? How do you see that from the market point of view?
Well, absolutely. I think it's definitely accelerated trends. If we look at build to rent specifically, obviously with an environment of house price inflation that's going to be anemic at best over the next few years, I think a demographic will choose maybe not to tie up so much equity in their own home and choose to rent as a preference from a financial perspective. I think a lot of people will be looking at where they choose to live because of the amenities and what provision is around there. I think the trend of working from home, as we all know, as we're doing now, I'm back in the office now, but having working from home somewhat, people realise that businesses in certain sectors can continue and people can work from home more often. So they will be encouraged to do so. So buildings with that infrastructure in place, whether it be from the technology side with the internet, the high-speed internet, with workstations and places with parcel services and deliveries. And at Moda, we have all these different amenities, including boardrooms, libraries, dining rooms that can be booked out for different events and workstations. I think that will be the future. It'll be kind of the home will be more of a collaborative place.
And Johnny, in terms of the demand side, what are you seeing at the moment in the UK?
Well, obviously, when COVID hit, demand was, as everyone was taking in the news and the information about what was happening, we saw a lot of our customers renewing their tenancies and not obviously, which is fantastic. And new inquiries slowed down somewhat, and then that was in the months of end of March and April, and then in May the inquiries have gone up, and then I think that was one of our biggest spikes was in May that we've seen. So we've actually done a number of new lettings. We've actually been extremely pleased with that as lockdown was lifted. We've been doing virtual tours. So from a customer perspective, I think a lot of people were sitting in properties that they didn't think were quite suitable from working from home, or that environment, or they were getting quite fed up with and wanted to move on to something better. So we saw a big spike and a really encouraging take up.
Great, good to see the market coming back, and thanks for sharing your kind of views with us today, Johnny. Thank you.